Luca, what do we do with this game?
What a question to lead this one off. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I only imagine you gave me a little bit of a snippet of how the halftime show went, but
Crash
it
out
yeah,
on YouTube for your listening pleasure.
yeah, it was definitely an experience. And I think I will say shout out to the living room I was in watching this. I was all of one door over from my own house as my neighbor was having a diaper party. They are expecting and had the guys over and stuff like that. And shout out all those guys who know, including my buddy Nick and Alex. But it was an experience watching that game with all of them. And I will say, Josh, you know how I always talk about and I preach, hey, the opening drive, not going to panic. Even the opening half, I've gotten to the point where it's like, don't panic. It really tested me. This game very much tested me, but I comparatively to most of the other individuals, I will say in that living room, I would say I was on the cooler side. And I just want to thank the entire Bills team for rewarding all of us, including myself, for being patient. And we'll just assume we were all patient. And showing the F up in the second half and making things happen, and also showing New England, Mike Vrabel, everyone else in the league that Josh Allen's a pretty special quarterback, Josh. He's pretty damn good, and it doesn't matter what you do against him. He is still in that game. I mean, at one point, there was a 6.4% chance to win this game, and we all know what the result was.
We sure do. And when you look at this game, it really was a tale of two halves because there were so many moments in the first half that just had you furious. Like McDermott not challenging calls, Brandon Cooks dropping a ball that hits him in the hands that could have gotten the Bills off to a good start. Joshua Palmer hearing his name called for the first time in what feels like 2 months, committing a false start on a 3rd and 4, which ultimately led to a 3rd and 9 sack. And then for me, it was even the little things. It was the end of the half sequence where the Bills are on defense. The Patriots have 6 seconds left. They're at the Bills' 30-yard line and they have one timeout and they're in the shotgun. And everybody that's watched football their entire lives know they're not going to throw the ball in the end zone here. They are trying to gain yards to set up a better field goal. Everybody except the Bills, apparently, who lets them break off a 15-yard run to make that a chip shot field goal. And just little things like that were driving me insane today, which led to the crash out on the halftime show. And then can't even believe my eyes, Luca. 4 straight drives to open the second half. Touchdown, 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 touchdown. And it wasn't even that was the most surprising. It was the fact, and you mentioned this off air, I'll let you get into it. Something happens to this defense at halftime. It's no longer a, hey, this is kind of cute. It's a, they have something that happens at halftime. And now you're starting to get to a point where you can kind of bank on it.
This game, and we've talked about it at length, Josh. You know, it's halftime adjustments. McDermott might be one of the best at going into halftime, trusting whatever staff he has up above that might be seeing things, even trusting his own two eyes to then evaluate what he just witnessed, the predictable nature of whatever he put on the field for that first 30 minutes. And I say that tongue in cheek on purpose. And just go 1, 2, 3, ABC. This is what we're going to do. This is what we can do here. This is what we can do at opportunities. And in today's game, by design, to see the change and to see it, I would probably say I recognized it maybe 3, 4, could have even been 5 times where you were seeing this team come out defensively in nickel. You would see the linebackers be a little imbalanced when it comes to where they were in relativity to the line. And then all of a sudden a switch would happen, whether it was the linebacker who was crashing would drop back or even shift over entirely. And then you would even see that side end, opposite side end of the rushing linebacker then drop back into coverage, whether that was Bosa, which is exactly what happened on that key 4th down fail for the Patriots, or, the stop for the Bills. You were just seeing this kind of rotational pressure happen. And that was something we were not seeing, I do not believe, remembering in the first half. And that was a clear adjustment or a clear design that McDermott, I believe, really enjoyed, to be like, hey, this is what we can do. This is how we can confuse maybe at the line. We see something here. We see a weak side here. We're going to actually flip and overload that side. That's how we're going to do this. And the proof's in the pudding. It worked so well to just absolutely neutralize everything the Patriots were doing in the second half. I mean, their drives, they had a 3-play -6 yards punt. They had a 7-play 38-yard drive that ended in an interception. That was essentially an arm punt. You had a 14-second drive that was a touchdown. Everyone knows what that one was. And then a minute 35 drive that was 3 plays, -2 yards, and punt. That was effectively all of their drives in the second half until that final drive where they didn't convert on downs and we essentially locked the game up. It's this is the kind of game, the tale of two halves, where you can almost sympathize with both the Fire McDermott crowd for the first half and then also just be like, this is what are you going to get that's going to get you something better than this? Because to have the ability to do what you've done, where it's a high school defense in the first half and then something just flipped in the second half and becomes, I'm not going to sit here and say championship caliber. You don't completely lose your edge thanks to AJ Epinesa. Shout out you, bud. On a 65-yard touchdown and just overload everything too much to give up something in a crucial situation in the fourth down because you're a championship caliber defense. But clearly a message was driven to them and they got it, where it's like, this is how we can be successful. And they did their job. That's how you come back from 21 down, from 24-7 down. You just have to sit there, be patient, adjust a little bit, do your job, get the ball back to Josh Allen as fast and much as possible, and let him just do his thing. And next thing you know, you got 28 points in the second half. You only allow one score, and you come out on top 35-31. Just an absolute beautiful display of adjusting at halftime, recognizing what you need to do to get it over the line. And even on top of it, offensively, props to this team for not just going, F it, it's not working in the run game, even against a weak, rushing defense being the Patriots. They still had a plan of attack with that. They didn't let it get away and just put it all on Josh Allen. And James Cook, 22 carries later, 170 yards. I mean, this team in this game should show you that they are capable of making that run if they can just get into a dance with a good, healthy roster. It's when you have Josh Allen, when you have James Cook, when you even have that ability to go into halftime and really assess things for what you need to do to get it over the line, you always have a chance, no matter how bad the deficit is,